1 Kings 8:46. This is really dealing with something else. I'm just going to throw this in because a lot of people say, well, why do y'all face the east, which really we facing the east because we facing Jerusalem, when we pray? Well, this is why we do it. Just like Daniel did it in Daniel the 6th chapter. He faced Jerusalem even at the threat of getting thrown in the lion's den, which they did to him. Because they knew that told him for sure he was praying. Because he went through the motion of facing Jerusalem. Well, we do the same thing, and this is why. 1 Kings 8:46 first. Verse 46. Go ahead.
If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not,
Uh-huh.
and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
See, now he said if they sin, then he did throw in here, and there's no man that sinneth not. So no matter how good you look in here, how well dressed you are, we know all have sinned. He said if they sin, for there is no man that sinneth not, and you be angry and you deliver them to the enemy, which is what happened to us as a people.
Yep.
So that they carry them away captive, that's slavery, into a land of the enemy, far or near, where in our case is far. We're a long way away. We way across some waters, a long way away. Matter of fact, the time show you it's an 8-hour difference. That's a long way. So he was prophesying of if this took place, it's still a remedy for you in seeking God. But you need to know God's will and seek him accordingly. Go ahead, 47.
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captive, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness.
He said, but if we rethink ourselves in the land where we've been carried captive, which is where we at today. See, that's exactly what we're doing right now, brothers and sisters. That's why we done got away from all the paganism that we was raised up on. We done got away from all of that, celebrating all these man-made days and honoring God according to man's tradition. Because why? We be thinking ourselves. Where we've been carried captive at.
In our enemies'
See,
land.
just like some brothers say, well, you can't keep the Sabbath day in your enemy's land.
Wrong.
Look, what's stopping us? What's stopping us from being here today as opposed to tomorrow? We can do what we can do. So that's what he's talking about, though. You bethink yourselves where you was carried captive, repent. That means you're going to start living different. And make supplication unto the Lord in the land of them that carried you captive, and admit that you done sinned, you done perversely, and committed wickedness. Then what happened? Verse 48.
And so return unto thee with all their hearts and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land.
Oh, it's okay to pray toward your land. See, we so dumb, we don't know we got a land. That's the bad thing about it. Everybody got to have a land at some point. Everybody have to come from somewhere other than Mississippi or Louisiana. We have to have a homeland. But we the only people don't know that. But he said here, and pray toward their land. He said, go ahead.
Which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name.
See, pray toward the land that he gave, and the city, even the city which is Jerusalem, and the house, the temple which is torn down, but he's going to have it rebuilt. He said, pray toward that. Then he going to listen. He go further and said, then here. But really, I didn't come here to read that. Back up to verse 38, because this is really what I wanted to get to, because we dealing with beware the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So we got to stay on top of things. Make sure we keep our flesh in subjection to the spirit will of God. That's what we got to do. And you have to know. See, you can have issues that I don't know about. I can have issues that you don't know about. But one thing about it, we all know about our own issues. And that's what we have to be concerned with. That's why I ain't worried about what so-and-so is doing. I don't really have a lot of time to be worried about. You know, if you call and tell me you got some problems, I try to help you as best I can. But you know what? I got my own problems I'm worried about. So I ain't looking for no problem. I ain't looking for your problem like some people looking around. Well, see what so-and-so. Look, I can care less. If you don't want to walk and get salvation, that's going to be on you. I'm going to try to show you the way to go, but you got to go that way.
That's right.
So The thing is, we all got to deal with our own issue. That's what he's going to say here, verse 38. Go ahead.
What prayer and supplication soever be made by any man, or by all thy people of Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hands toward this house.
See, he's still talking about praying toward the Lord, but he said, what prayer and supplication soever shall be made by any man or by all thy people Israel. Then he said something else. He said, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart. See, everybody know the plagues of their own heart, which is the mind. Everybody know their own weakness. That's why Jesus said the spirit is willing, but what? The flesh is weak. So you need to know your weakness, don't you? And you need to stay on top of your weakness. Get your weakness in subjection. Ain't no need of just letting it run rampant, because it will destroy you, according to what Jesus said. He told you to stay on top of it, didn't he? The spirit is willing, but what? The flesh is weak. So that was a warning, so you keep your flesh in subjection. Now, go to 2 Chronicles 19. We're going to look at a quick example, and then we're going to wrap this lesson up, and we're going to get to part 2. 2 Chronicles 19. Now, I'm just going to show you. This was a good servant of God. Matter of fact, he was a great servant of God named Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. But even he had his own weakness that he needed to keep in check, and that still got him in trouble. See, you can be a good servant of God overall, but you still got to watch your weakness. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And that's why, see, and this is what helped me not to be so judgmental about people. You can be on the outside looking at what somebody is doing, but if you don't know the whole story in the first place, you can be judgmental. That's what the Bible said. You know, we know a tree by the fruit it bears. But he warned you about, he said, with what judgment you judge, the same judgment going to be meted to you. For instance, I used to look at stuff like this and say, how could he do the same thing over and over again? He must have been crazy. Then again, I found out we all crazy. So you got to stay on top of it. Even with Moses. I used to look at Moses, God telling Moses, look, go deliver the children of Israel from Egypt. You go talk to Pharaoh. I used to look at Moses like, Moses must have been crazy. Why he going to tell God he can't do it? Oh, I can't. I said, don't he know he's talking to God? What's wrong with him? But the thing is, hey, you wasn't in his shoes. You didn't know what you was faced with. See, when you start getting faced with some of the same stuff, you say, oh, okay. So that's why I quit being so judgmental. Like I used to say when I first got in the Word. They talk about great tribulation, and I used to talk about, oh yeah, I'm ready. Now I'm ready to die for the Lord. I'm ready to die. Like Peter even said the same thing. You know, but the Lord heard me. I took all that back. I took it all back. Because I wasn't ready as I thought I was. I didn't know nothing then, Lord. Lord know. But I'm saying you could be judgmental with your mouth before you realize. Now, look at this. 2 Chronicles 19:1. Go ahead.
And Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem.
See, now he was a great king. He was a righteous king. We're going to read a little bit about that. But it's telling us here he returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem. But he didn't have an easy way returning to his house in peace to Jerusalem. Because what he had just left, you read the 18th chapter on your own. We didn't read it enough. You read on your own. What he had just left, he had hooked up with their brothers, the king of Israel. Now the nation is split in two. He was the king over 2 tribes called the king of Judah. And Ahab was the king over the 10 tribes. And they still use the name Israel. That's why you got the king of Judah, king of Israel throughout the Bible. Once it's split. So, he meant well. The brother Ahab come to him and said, brother, we brothers. Mm-hmm. I need you to help me. So he didn't mean no harm. I mean, he was right. They brothers physically. But see, you got to look at the spiritual end of things. Ain't no need of us teaching different doctrines. Ain't no need of us getting in cahoots with the church across the street saying, look, yeah, we're gonna do something in the neighborhood. We're going to do something good. See, people come to us with that stuff. But ain't no need for us to try to do that when you're destroying people with false teaching.
That's right.
So we can't get together and help you feed, not even feed the hungry. See, that sounds good. Yep. But look, we're going to feed the hungry. You know, we all can get together. Look, we can't even help you do that. Because you probably going to steal the money and do something else with it anyway. But the bottom line is you not teaching the people the right way. So we can't get together and do that. We won't get involved in nothing like that. Well, that was the mistake Jehoshaphat was making. He hooked up with Ahab, went to battle, and he almost lost his life. The Lord had the people about ready to kill him. Then the Lord, since he was righteous, the Lord saved him. But he scared the heck out of him. So that's why when you read here at 19, it said, and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem. And they might as well put barely. Because he cried out to the Lord at the last, because they actually thought he was the king of Israel, and they were trying to kill him. They said, get him, get him. And then he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord let him realize that ain't the one they really wanted, so they stopped chasing him. So he made it back. But now the prophet going to come tell him something. Go ahead, verse 2.
And Jehu, the son of Hanani, the seer, went out to meet him and said to the king Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly?
Go ahead.
And love them that hate the Lord?
Go ahead.
Therefore is wrath upon thee from before the Lord.
See, now this guy messed up, but he's a good guy overall. He's a servant of God, but he didn't watch this weakness that he had. This is what Jesus is telling you. See, you could be a servant of God, but you still got to be on the lookout all the time. So the prophet came and told him, shouldest you help the ungodly and love them that hate the Lord? You shouldn't do that. Then he said, and it's some wrath coming your way, mister. And that's what he got. Go ahead, verse 3.
Nevertheless, there are good things found in thee.
See, now he told him, he said, but see, this is the only reason why you survive. He said, because there's good stuff found in you. This showing you how you could be good and still messing up at the same time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In that thou hast taken away the groves out of the land, and hast prepared thine heart to seek God.
See, he was seeking God. He got rid of a lot of false worship. He was a straight-up servant of God. But he had his weakness, like we all do. You got to watch your weakness. Put them in check. Go to the 20th chapter now. 20th chapter, 2 Chronicles, and verse 31. This is what this is warning us. We all know our own weaknesses. Hey, you got to watch them and put them in check. 20 and 31. Go ahead.
And Jehoshaphat reigned over Judah. He was 35 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azubah, the daughter of Shaalhai. And he walked in the way of Asa his father, and departed not from it, doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord.
See, now again, it's telling you giving you his record. He had a good resume. He reigned 25 years, and he walked in the way of his father Asa. Because see, Jehoshaphat was like the great, somewhere down there, grandson of King David. And his father Asa was righteous. So that's why I said he walked in the way of his father Asa and departed not from it, doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord. That's a good resume, isn't it? Howbeit what?
Howbeit the high places were not taken away. For as yet the people had not prepared their hearts unto the God of their fathers.
See, it's telling you where he left that out. But go ahead, verse 34.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Jehu, the son of Hanani, who is mentioned in the book of the kings of Israel.
Go ahead.
And after this did Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, join himself with Ahaziah, king of Israel, who did very wickedly.
See, Jehoshaphat had this weakness, boy. Now, this is somebody else. This ain't the last time. See, this is a different incident for when he made it back, because he hooked up with the guy's father, Ahab. See, but Ahab, the time when we read in the 19th chapter of Chronicles, when Jehoshaphat made it back, Ahab died, because that's who the Lord wanted to kill. He wanted Ahab dead because Ahab was wicked. So Ahab convinced Jehoshaphat to go with him to the war, but Ahab didn't make it home from that war. He got lying prophets to say, yeah, go do it, go up to Ramoth Gilead. But Ahab didn't make it back. He died there. He got killed there, and his blood spilled, just like where the Lord said it would spill, that for all the wickedness he had done. But Jehoshaphat got out of that thing and made it back home, and the prophet came and warned him, didn't he? He said, should you help the ungodly and love them that hate God, so you got some wrath coming. Then the brother turn around and do the same thing again.